Hello! I'm going to show you today how to make really fabulous English muffins. Yeah, I've made some the other day. You can see how thick they are, how so nicely toasted. And it's a very soft dough with a very open crumb, so that when you fork split it, you get that crispy pools of butter on the top. And it's just everything an English muffin should be. And they're pretty easy to make too. So I'm going to show you how. Just watch the rest of this video. And welcome. Place butter and milk in a pan and heat just until the butter is melted. Then pour this into your mixing bowl. Make sure it's not too hot. If it is, just cool it a bit till it's not uncomfortable to your hand. Then add salt, an egg, and some yeast. Give these a good stir. Then add your flour. This is all-purpose flour, but you could use bread flour, or you could substitute in a cup or so of whole wheat flour if you'd like. But then keep stirring until it's thoroughly moistened. And bring it all to the center. We're going to autolyze this dough, which means we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes to allow the gluten to start forming. This really makes a difference in how well the muffins will rise. So allow it to rest for 15 minutes. And then take the dome and knead it for about a minute or less. What you're doing is smearing the dough on the bottom of the bowl. And this stretches the gluten fibers, so they'll have some good dough strength. And then cover it with, I like to use 2 cloths, a dry cloth and then a really wet, thick cloth, so that it doesn't form a skin. And then proof it until doubled, and afterward flour a surface and scrape the dough out onto it, because we're about to make the English muffin forms. Make sure your hands are floured too. This is a sticky dough, and that's the way you want it. But if you find it too sticky, the next time you make the recipe, you can add a little bit more flour to it to make it easier. But just roll it into a cylinder, about 12 to 14 inches long, about 3.5 inches in diameter, and then you want to cut it into 12 pieces. First, cut it in half, and then cut one of the halves in half. And if you feel that you haven't really done it evenly enough, you can adjust it by just cutting another little piece and adding it to the shorter piece. Since it's such a sticky dough, it will realign itself pretty quickly. Then cut those pieces into 3. Take a piece into your hands and roll it into a ball shape. And make sure you put them down on flour so they don't stick to the surface. Then continue until you've made 12 little balls. Again, make sure there's flour underneath. So the next step is to put corn meal down and form the English muffins by flattening them. The cornmeal is just a traditional thing to do. These muffins are not baked in the oven, they're baked on the stovetop. And the cornmeal just gives a very nice texture to the essentially fried muffins. So just keep forming them until you've gotten all 12 done. If you need to add more cornmeal to your surface, just sprinkle it on and continue. We're also going to put some cornmeal on the top. So those can just be directly sprinkled on. And afterward, we want to rest these for about 30 minutes so that they rise. And butter a skillet, frying pan, and cook for 5 minutes on each side. And you can see how nicely they puff up. And there are your English muffins. Thanks for watching, and do come back again to learn how to make more delicious recipes for breads, cookies, all kinds of things. Bye.